Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 22, the season finale. Here's Negan episode. We're going to be having Negan's backstory, and we're going to be looking at two sneak peeks we got for the episode. I'm very excited to talk about these sneak peeks. And everything that we've been getting for this episode in terms of teasers and trailers and sneak peeks, they've all been amazing, and my hopes are pretty high for this episode. And I've said this a couple times before that I think this episode has the potential to be one of the best episodes. Of the 6 episodes, the extra 6 episodes, but also potentially for the season. On paper it sounds really good, so let's see if they can execute it. But looking at the trailers and stuff, it definitely looks great. So like I said, we're going to be looking at two sneak peeks we got for the episode. And the cool thing about the sneak peeks is that they actually go right, next to each other. Like it's the scenes sort of are continuous, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, we're going to break it down, talk about the sneak peeks. One's a flashback, one is present day stuff. Obviously general spoiler warning in case you aren't caught up. And then also, if you're a fan of the show, be sure to hit the subscribe button because we have a lot of Walking Dead content coming up. But yeah, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first sneak peek we have is of Negan digging up Lucille. His original Lucille that you have. We know we're gonna see him build Lucille in the flashback scenes, but this is the original Lucille that he was having, for the entire time he was in the show, when he got introduced. And it's close to that area where him and Rick were fighting, which I think is really interesting, and I'll talk about that in a little bit more. But yeah, he has a shovel, so that kind of tells me that somebody told him it was out here, or he knew because of maybe he just heard about it. I'll talk more about who that could possibly be in a second. But he comes out here and he starts digging. He has a small smile in his face because he feels Lucille, and he starts digging it up with his hands. And you can see him holding it here, and he gets extremely happy about it. Now, like I said, this is, pretty close to that area, I believe, where he and Rick had their final fight. So I think in a way it is really interesting that Lucille is buried here, because Negan has never really been the same since he lost Lucille and ever since that fight. So it kind of makes sense for it to be buried here. Now, so this is interesting because, I don't think Negan buried it himself there. I feel like, because it's confusing, and it's sort of like it could go either way, because like Negan seems to be the only person who would bury Lucille. Like, I feel like if anyone else had Lucille, they'll be like, whatever, just throw it away or something. But, they buried it. So I feel like it would be something Negan would do, but at the same time, they wouldn't let Negan bury Lucille. I mean, unless it happened during a time skip and we missed it or something. I just don't think they would let Negan bury Lucille, especially after that fight. Maybe things cooled down later on and they said, okay, you can go bury Lucille or something. But that's the tricky part for me, like, because this is like a full-on burial. That's something that Negan would do himself. But then I can't really imagine Negan doing it, or I can't really imagine the group letting him do it, unless it happened during the time skips that we missed. I mean, I could definitely make an argument for Rick and Carol, and those are only characters who I think could potentially have buried it. Like, I could definitely see Rick doing it, because this was the spot he beat Negan, and he just wants it to be, a symbol, for the end of the Negan era. It could be like that, or it could be Carol also. I feel like, I guess, potentially Carol could be someone who would do this also, but I just feel like a burial is something that Negan would want to do. The other characters could do it for sure, but I don't know. I mean, you see how I keep kind of contradicting myself? So you guys let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about this? Do you think Negan went to go bury Lucille during one of the time jumps, or do you think Rick or Carol did it, or someone else for that matter? Because I think also potentially, there could have been rumors going around and people were hearing that someone buried Lucille, where Rick, beat Negan, and Negan sort of heard those rumors over the years. And then he eventually, now has a chance to go and get Lucille. That could be it. But I think more it's probably going to be Carol telling Negan, because we know Carol and Negan are going to be spending some time together in this episode. So I think she could potentially tell Negan that Lucille is buried out there. It doesn't mean that she was the one who buried Lucille, because again, Rick could definitely have done it, and I think it'll be pretty cool if it was Rick. We'll see what happens, but for me, it's either they let Negan out to do it himself, but I don't really see them letting Negan do this after the Savior War, right? You guys let me know what you think. So I think Carol told him, and then he comes out here and gets it. But I'm really interested in seeing who buried Lucille. I think it'd be really cool if it was Rick. But you guys let me know what you think. And then after that, he kind of smiles and we get this thing that says 12 years earlier. Now, this 12 years earlier thing keeps throwing me off ever since ever since we learned that it was going to be the flashback for the Negan stuff is going to be 12 years earlier. Because I had always thought that it was 10 years into the apocalypse. So I don't know where I'm missing 2 years from, if I am. But I always thought it was 10 years. You guys let me know, what do you think about that? Am I missing 2 years somewhere? Because I'm pretty sure we were like 2 or 3 years into the show, like into the apocalypse. And then that big 6-year time jump happened when Rick left. So that would have sent it to like 8, 9 years. And then we had the seasons changing. We had that winter episode, and then it was spring again. So because of that, I kind of thought it was like, around 10 years. So I'm still missing like at least a year or two. So you guys let me know if you know where those 2 years went. But it's not really important, I guess, But we then cut to 12 years earlier, like I said, and this is the Negan flashback. And this is the scene. We have someone walking up to Negan. But this actually continues into the next sneak peek, which is really cool. So we actually get to see what is going on here. Alright, so this guy walks up to Negan like we just saw, and he takes the bag over Negan's head. And Negan says, you gotta let me go. And this, I think, is gonna be like the start of Negan becoming Negan. And I think Negan is gonna get revenge on these guys. I don't know how he's gonna do it because it's only him, which is interesting. I think maybe even Lucille might come in and be a big part in this. But he's actually surrounded by people, and we'll see it throughout. The people are sort of in the corner, so it's hard to see. But he's surrounded by a couple people, so this is like a group of people here. So somebody brings out this box. And they open it up, and we see that I think these are maybe IV bags or something like that. I'm not sure exactly, but you can see the word chemotherapy written on it. So these are obviously for Lucille, because remember, she's sick. So Negan is trying to get these, and this group for some reason isn't letting him. And we get more on, more I guess on their motive in a second. But Negan says that my wife, she has cancer, she needs that. You gotta keep it safe. I told you, keeping it here, it kills me and her. And then this guy who's standing in the front of him says, I know you did. I told you my heart goes out to you. I can't imagine what you must be going through right now. Just wondering if she's ever gonna get it. So going back to the motive thing, I guess it's not really even a motive, maybe. Maybe these guys are just bad people. Because he says, I can't imagine what you must be going through right now. So because he said that, I'm assuming he doesn't need them, right? Because he can't imagine needing those for someone he loves or, someone he knows. That's what I'm sort of understanding from what he said here. So because of that, and this is like a very specific thing. Like, this isn't food or water or supplies. Like, this is like a very specific thing. And now I'm kind of wondering, like, maybe these guys are just bad people, and they could potentially be one of the things that change Negan. Negan realizes that people are bad, and maybe that's why he decides to toughen up and fight back. Also, take a look at that guy behind him. So that's what I mean. Like, I kind of missed him at first. There's somebody standing back there. So they have this seems like some sort of group, and I'm wondering again. I talked about it in the beginning of the video or a little bit earlier how Negan is gonna get out of this situation. And I think Lucille may come into play because Lucille, she's a fighter. Like we saw in the trailer, Negan was struggling to kill walkers, and she came in there and shot the walker. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lucille actually comes in here and helps out. But I think this is gonna be a big turning point for Negan and his character, because in the trailer we do see him in this location now looking like Negan. So I think maybe he gets out of the situation and takes revenge, or he gets out of the situation and comes back to this location and takes revenge. But the point is, I think this situation is gonna make Negan become, like classic Negan. But yeah, really interesting scene, and sort of, these people, I think they're just bad people, because they don't like this. Again, the thing that Negan needs is very specific. Why are they not letting him have it? Like, what happened? Did Negan do something to them, or are they just wanting, do they want to use it as a means of getting something back from Negan? We'll see. But yeah, definitely interesting sneak peek. Both of these sneak peeks were really great. It was super cool seeing Negan find his old Lucille again. And, like I said, all the trailers and sneak peeks we're getting for these episodes, or for this episode, is really good. But I'm definitely interested in hearing what you guys think about this sneak peek. What do you think is going on here? Who do you think this group is? Are they the original saviors potentially? And then also let me know, what did you think about that first sneak peek? But those were the 2 sneak peeks we got for the episode. So I am gonna wrap it up there for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. Again, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to hit the subscribe button, because we have a lot of Walking Dead content coming up. And as always, thanks for watching. Please take care, and I'll see you guys soon.